I 23M think my so 22F cheated on me with her boss 50 last night. I'm on mobile, so I apologize in advance for any typos and such. We've been together for just over a year and a half. Basically, I have reason to believe that my so cheated on me last night at a company event with her boss. This event had been planned for a couple of weeks, and she was very excited to pick out something sexy to wear to a company event. As far as I understood, everyone else in the company would be attending as well. She left for the event after work last night, and the last time I received a text was a couple of hours before it supposedly started. Beforehand, she said she wouldn't be too long at it, and would text me when she was leaving. There was inclement weather last night, so I asked her to do this so I knew she wasn't upside down in a ditch somewhere. Well, several hours go by, no word from her. At this point, I'm a little worried. I texted her sister, who also happens to be close associates of my so's boss, and asked if she heard from my so at all during or before the party. She said her boss said that party was cancelled because of the weather. I know he was going out to dinner with someone though. This is when my heart sank. I got nervous, and decided to open up her email and see if maybe she made any other plans around this time. The first email that popped up was from her boss forwarding her the reservation details for their Christmas party. Specifically, they were meeting up at a couple of bars in a city an hour away and then heading to a very expensive restaurant for a very private evening. At that point, I knew something was up, but reasonably, there was nothing I could do about it, so I went to sleep. She got in around 1:30 in the morning, stumbling around in the dark, so I know she got drunk or did drugs with this guy. I woke up this morning, and in the bathroom were her clothes from last night. I'm not proud of this, but I checked her pockets and found nothing. But I noticed that her panties were bunched up under all of the other clothing, and when I picked them up, they reeked of sweat and SX. They also had, for lack of a less blatant term, sexual residue on them and obvious SRM stains. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I never got the suspicion that she was unhappy in any way, and she even constantly complained about her work, so I thought everything was kosher. What do our relationships? TL. Dr. So appears to have gone out and slept with boss last night during a company event. No indication that she was ever unhappy in the relationship. Edit. I posted a semi-update in the thread, but here it is. I don't know why I really even posted this in here, to be honest. I guess I just needed a push to do what I know I need to do, which is leave her cheating ass. So, for that, thanks guys. I just don't get why she would do this. I've been the best boyfriend I can be. I've been super supportive of her hobbies and her career, and loved her with all of my heart. The good news is she isn't on the lease and I don't pay for any of her bills. But her asset is everywhere in our apartment, so her packing up will take a while. I will not be helping her with this. I sent her a text that says I know what happened last night. If you want to talk about it at all, your only chance will be at restaurant. I'll be there from 12 to 1 exactly. Show up if you want, if not, it doesn't matter to me. After that, consider us over and consider yourself evicted. The kicker to all of this is that her boss owns the company. I forgot to mention that bit. So, HR? Not happening. He is HR. He's also unmarried. Just a creepy shoal.
If she shows up to lunch, I'll update you guys on what happens. If not, I'll update you guys anyway. Thanks for the push, less than 3.
Edit 2. The lunch update. Oh boy. Whoa, this took off. Thanks for tuning into the spectacle that is my love life as of late, folks. As for the lunch update, it was not really as expected. I expected lots of tears shed, maybe some bargaining, but what I got was none of that. When she came into the restaurant, she was calm and collected. She almost looked proud, even. When she sat down, I looked at her for a few seconds and said, "Well, what do you have to say for yourself?" What I got was more than I bargained for. In a nutshell, she cheated because she wanted to. That was it. She wanted different DCK, and her exact words were, "It got boring between us and I wanted something new. I knew what I was doing." I asked her if she got drunk that night and she said of course I did. I got more drunk than I've ever been in my life ever. I asked her if she intended to hurt me and she said on the surface, no. But I guess somewhere deep inside, subconsciously, yes. I asked her how long this had been going on and she said last night was the first night we had sex, but we've been messing around ever since I started there. Which was a year ago. Good. Just good. At this point, I knew she was out for blood for whatever godforsaken reason. There was no point to this charade any longer, and I wanted out of there before I got hurt even more. I didn't intend to finish my meal, so I leaned over and said, "You have until tonight to get your acid out of my place, or it's on the curb, and I mean every last piece of it." And then left. Here I am at work now. It's almost surreal to have one of the cornerstones of my life just erode in a matter of hours. Soon the emotions will start, and that's when the real fun will begin. About a month ago, my wife cheated on me with her ex-boss. He'd left the company the week before. We were both supposed to go to a party downtown that night and spend the night at a nearby hotel. Our babysitter became unavailable and I needed to stay home with our kiddo 5 years old. She decided that she would go alone and stay the night without me. Before she left for work that morning, I told her how uncomfortable I was with that. Normally, I wouldn't have cared, but my spider sense was tingling because of weirdness over the previous few days. She told me there was nothing to worry about and that was that. I woke up with a start at 2:15 a.m. and a knot in the pit of my stomach. She'd recently turned off her phone location service. Should have been a huge red flag, but I didn't actually think that much of it, but I checked it anyway. She'd turned it back on and I could see she was at an apartment complex nowhere near the party location. She was there until 9 a.m. I confronted her when she got home and after some half-hearted lies she stopped denying it. It was the first time. Might have been some G-oping and or OL earlier in the week, I'll never know, though it wasn't a drunken moment of weakness. She'd been thinking about it and planning for it for a couple of weeks. She knew what she was doing and obviously didn't care what it did to the family. Our marriage has had its ups and downs and I've not always been the greatest husband. I've never been unfaithful though and I love her dearly. Whatever issues we had I think we could have worked through. From what I can piece together, I think she was looking for a quick escape from a husband and child that she felt were stifling her. It was a chance to have a different, more exciting life. Turns out that her ex-boss was really just looking for a little something on the side. He put her into a cab still in her evening gown and made her make the 9 a.m. walk of shame back at her hotel by herself. Oops. After she finally admitted the infidelity to me, she told me that it had been a mistake and she wanted to stay with me. There's a chance that her ex-boss would try to hire her at the new company he works for. She's really damn good at her job and I suspect his motivations would be more that she would help make him look good rather than sexual. She's really not his type. I told her that there was no way that could happen. She couldn't be with me and work for the man she'd broken her vows with. I told her that she needed to call her ex-boss and tell him that they could never speak again and I needed to hear her say the words to him. She resisted this fairly strongly. The new job, if it were to materialize, would be an important career boost for her. Turning it down would be a big sacrifice, so I understood some of the hesitation. She asked me for a day or two to think it through. She went over to her mother's house for a couple of hours and when she came back told me that she'd decided to make the call and give up the career opportunity. What she didn't know was that because I get the phone bills, I have access to her call records. I could see that she'd talked to her boss for an hour while she was going to her mother's. I didn't mention that I knew this and had her call her boss. She told him that it had been a huge mistake and that they needed to cut off all communications. He said that he understood and would honor her wishes. pretty much exactly what I wanted to hear. Later, I asked her if she talked to her boss any since he put her in a cab back to her hotel. She said that she hadn't. I pressed her on this and she said if you want the truth. I sent him a text just seeing how he was recovering from the party. I told her that I knew that this was a lie and I knew she'd talked to him before coming home from her mother's. I pressed her on what the hour-long call was about. She told me it was to talk about what she was going to call him about later with me, the breakup call. I realize of course that this made the whole breakup call a pile of nonsense. I told her that I thought she called him to see if there was any chance of a relationship. She denied, but couldn't otherwise explain what the hell they talked about for so long. Finally she let it slip that he'd said you need to try and make it work with your husband. If not, then we'll see. So my instincts were right. She had to think about whether to turn down the possible career opportunity because she had to figure out what her options were. If she could have the job and the fellow she was infatuated with, that would be her preference. Failing that, she decided she'd rather lose the job and be with her family than be alone and maybe or maybe not get the job. For what it's worth, I eventually told her to accept the job if they offered it. I don't think he will though once he had sex with her, too much career risk from drama and fallout. That was all about a month ago. Since then, she's been the model wife. We're going to counseling, she's done everything that I've asked. She's put up with my various late night talkathons, she doesn't complain when I don't let her sleep in our bedroom, and she's not made it about her much. She clearly wants things to work now and I believe her when she says she wants to be with me. At the same time though, I'm still having difficulty just with the physical side of the infidelity and I'm having a lot of trouble with being plan B. Part of it is my bruised ego, but a very large part is a concern that she wants our relationship now, but what happens in the future? I feel like she's accepted her life and is now gung-ho about making the best of it. What happens down the road though? So, the question in front of me now is what to do? For the last month, I've been bouncing all over between just digging in and fixing things to thinking about asking her to leave. For what it's worth, if she leaves, the kiddo almost certainly stays with me. My work gives me the time and ability to be a stay-at-home dad, which is a role I enjoy. My inclination as a father is that I probably have to stay and try to make it work. Kids do best with a mommy and daddy who love and respect each other. If there's still even a remote chance of that happening for the long term, I don't think I can deny my son that chance. I'm hoping but not convinced that time will dull some of the raw emotion. TL, doctor, wife cheated on me with her boss. Didn't work out how she expected and now wants our relationship to work. Quick backstory, married 16 years, together 20. 4 kids, 24, 17, 10, 7. Found out she had an affair with a coworker November 2016. Tried to put us back together, 2 years wasted there, she moved out November 2018. Found out in December 2018 that she was seeing he within a week of moving out via a text message meant for him, sent to me. Overall, our divorce has been extremely amicable. I was left with the house, my car, my Harley, my business. She only wants child support, nothing more. We remain good friends, but she lies a lot to me, so I am cautious on what she tells me. We are doing a great job of co-parenting our kids. The issue? Ex decided to pick up extra hours and work today, asked if I would take our 7 and 10-year-old boys. No problem there. As soon as we get in the car, my 7-year-old starts giving me 20 questions about mom's new friend. The AP and his 12-year-old son apparently stayed over at my ex's place this past Friday. The AP apparently slept in bed with my ex. The AP's 12-year-old son had a sleepover with my 7-year-old and told him my dad and your mom are boyfriend and girlfriend, which was confusing for him. He was also told by the AP's son that his dad might be my son's new dad. And lastly, my son was asking questions on why this guy was sleeping in bed with his mom. Oh, and they spent the day Saturday going shopping, trampoline park, lunch, etc. like a family. So, I get blindsided with this, and my ex obviously did not have a conversation with him about this. This is the first time my son has met either of these two people. I feel like I should not have to clean up her mess, and it was extremely inappropriate to have the AP sleep in her bed. We are not fully divorced yet, and neither is the AP. How do I go about handling this? My son is confused, and I don't feel like I should have to cover for his mother's bad decisions. Please help. Background: married 16 years, together 20. Have 3 children together. Found out about her affair after hacking her phone app, seeing messages. She had an affair with a co-worker. Broke it off and tried to fix our marriage, no go. Divorce filed October 2018. She moved out November 2018 and started seeing her AP instantly. Divorce final dec 2019. She was still with her AP, till last week. My ex calls me crying and asking if I can take the kids again overnight. I ask what's wrong and if she is alright. She replies that karma slapped me right in the face. She goes on the explain that she felt something was off, so she decided to go through her AP's phone while he was in the shower. Found a huge string of messages on FB with s-ing, pics, nasty talk, etc. the same way I found out about her affair. My ex is 39, he is 52, and his new AP is married and only 28. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted to rejoice to the heavens that it finally happened to her. I told her from day one that the guy is a predator. However, after hearing her out, I understood that she was deeply in love with this guy, and the other half of me felt sorry for her. Ironically, she apologized to me more that day than she ever had about her cheating on me. Saying things like, "I am so sorry I put you through this, and I never realized how much this hurt you." I took those with a grain of salt, cause I have moved on and found someone, and we have been happily dating for the last 6 months. The point of this post is to let everyone know that even going through the roughest divorce scenario, things will work out for you, and sometimes, karma will step in and give you a small piece of retribution.